all about Symbian and Mobile Industry Review.
My name's Ian Hutton and I work in the technology team at the Foundation. My main responsibilities are, one, I chair the Feature and Roadmap Council, which is a hook for the community to have a high-level overview of where the Foundation's going with the roadmap, and I also create the high-level roadmap that cuts across the whole platform and tries to tell the story of where the platform's going. Right now I'm using a Sony Ericsson Satio. I've just installed the Evernote widget client, which is a great news for me. I'm a big Evernote user and it's great to have direct access to that right from the home screen on the Satio. Because we're an open source community, we're very much community driven, which means the roadmap is effectively driven bottom up from contributors. So it's driven very much by what the community wants to add to the platform. That bubbles up through package owners who take an overview of the direction in their area of the platform, and then aggregated again by the technology managers and technology specialists who are staff members at the Symbian Foundation. Some of those you'll have seen in other videos. And those guys take a very important role in a sort of evangelizing, adding energy to those communities and trying to direct and coordinate those efforts. I then take an overview across all of that and try to tell the story right across the platform, bringing out the biggest themes so that at a high level everyone can see where the platform's going. And certainly Symbian 3, Symbian 4 and beyond, the biggest theme is and will continue to be user experience, just making these devices as attractive and easy to use for users as possible. Within Symbian 3 there's a lot of evolution, so there are big and small changes right across the platform. For example, the home screen takes a big step forwards in Symbian 3. We get multi-page home screens, support for multiple widgets, for example for weather forecasts for different cities, also the options for widgets to pop up bigger screens when the user interacts with them to provide more information. We've also got, as well as sort of application-specific changes, more general changes across the platform. So we're moving over to a single tap paradigm for more direct interaction, where the user will immediately tap on something to take action, getting away from the tap to select, tap to action style that we had previously. So that'll really just make the interface slicker and easier to use overall. Kind of two other key themes outside of the user experience. One would be the developer experience for application developers, and another is for device creators. So taking device creators first, and we take kind of a broad view of device creators in this context, so including hardware manufacturers and including network operators, everyone in the chain that's getting devices out to the shops effectively. The key focus there is making these devices as easy to build and get to market as possible and very easy to customize, so the user can get a great range of devices out there. The biggest thing we're doing here at the moment is focusing on ease of creation of devices. We're looking to make the hardware adaptation layer, so the code that sits at the bottom of the platform drives down to the metal, easier to create, so there's less work to write it and it's much easier to get it stable, to get devices out. At the end of January this year, we had 2 great days of workshops in the Foundation offices in London, bringing together architects from right across the community, helping to define those interfaces, and those will be starting to appear in Symbian 4, Symbian 5 and beyond, really making it ever easier to create those devices. Making life easier for developers is another key focus, and as well as making life easier for developers, we spend a lot of time thinking about providing a richer set of tools, a richer set of toys in the box for them to play with. In that latter context, it's really focusing on the middleware layer of the platform, the layer that directly supports the applications, making sure there's a rich set of features there, all easily accessible. ZeroConf is a good example of that. It's an enabling technology in the comms area that enables applications to really easily set up peer-to-peer networks. So you and I could just start ZeroConf-based applications, immediately link up and just share content over a kind of an ad hoc network between us, and that's there in Symbian 3 and available for any application developers to use. And that's just kind of one example of the growing and ever expanding range of middleware services available to apps. Beyond that, you mentioned kind of Qt for ease of use. Clearly making it easy to develop applications and really lowering barriers so that as many developers as possible can very easily get into the development space is key for us. Web runtimes is one key area there, which we've supported in Symbian 2, Symbian 3, and continue to support and expand, letting web developers get in very easily to write widgets and applications just using Ajax, Java, kind of normal web development skills. The other area is Qt, which is pre-integrated in kits in Symbian 3, and in Symbian 4 will become the primary native development environment for applications. That's a big change for us and a big change for developers. It takes away some of the more complex and idiosyncratic idioms that are part of Symbian programming, which are very necessary and important for writing the internals of the operating system to keep it really performant, really efficient, but by the same kind of that efficiency, make it more difficult for application developers to address. And Qt provides an easier, very consistent app development environment. That'll be coming through very much in Symbian 4 as the prime development environment for all applications, and will make it much easier to create applications and roll them out. One actually that really kind of captures my imagination is one that's already in the platform there now and has been since Symbian 2 in the location subsystem, which is location-based triggering. That is a service, it's one of those middleware services there for application developers, and it enables any application to just set zones of interest, so a physical location where the location-based subsystem then calls the application back, lets it take action when the user enters or leaves that location. Simple examples there are just an alarm clock that tells you when you're getting near your station on the train or on the bus. But there's a whole world of things that application developers can do with that to integrate the user's location into applications in a dynamic way. So an app doesn't even need to be running. It'll be started up and told, hey, the user's got to somewhere you care about, do whatever you want, which will, I think, lead to a lot more dynamic interaction experiences. And there's just so many things that application developers could do with that. I'm really looking forward to seeing it being picked up and used. It's fantastic. It's a real big change in environment. In many ways, just a breath of fresh air, having such direct links with the community and being able to have so many really positive dialogues that if somebody doesn't like the direction of something, thinks something should change, more should happen, there are now no barriers to them just getting in and making that happen, which means just talking to other people in the industry are always very positive conversations. That's great. It's very heartening, really enjoyable, really energizing. I'm loving it.
So it's an exciting time.
Absolutely, very much so.
All about Symbian and Mobile Industry Review.